and welcome to my channel. I'm Monica. Today I wanted to talk about something that I'd love to get your input on and to learn about your experiences with this. A little background on me for those of you that might be new to my channel. As of the filming of this video, I've been retired just over 5 months. Now, going into retirement, I assumed that I would be waking up with a feeling of, what am I going to do with my day because I have all this time on my hands all of a sudden. I knew I had some goals that I wanted to accomplish in, the back of my mind, things I'd been thinking about doing, projects I wanted to work on, and so forth. But I really thought there would be more of this sense of just, what am I going to do with my day? And instead, my experience has been what I'm kind of calling chasing success in my retirement. Now, prior to retiring, I had a long career in human resources and recruiting, and I'm very thankful for that career. I had a modest level of success. I never climbed extremely high on the corporate ladder, just partly because even though I'm very thankful for the career and, felt I was, relatively good at it, I had no passion for that field of work. And so I wasn't really driven to continue to climb that corporate ladder and everything. So like I said, I just never had that passion about that. But now come with my retirement, I knew going into retirement, there were several things that I wanted to do. I wanted to start this YouTube channel. I've always wanted to write a book and just never found time to do it. And I've already started working on my book. I wanted to take a cross-country road trip. I'm working on planning that now for later this year. So I had a number of goals that I wanted to achieve, but I've been kind of surprised again by this feeling that I have of chasing success in those areas. Now, when I'm talking about success, I'm really, obviously one way to define success is, making money from something and, or gaining titles and that kind of thing. In this respect, where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to keep in mind is, defining success a bit differently. Now, obviously, if my YouTube channel does well and I get monetized and make money from it, wonderful. That's exciting. If I write a book and sell some copies, wonderful. That's great. However, if neither of those happen, I started a YouTube channel. I did it. Here's evidence. If I finish my book, or I shouldn't say if, when I finish my book, I will have done it. Those things are success in themselves. And so, the wonderful thing about this, though, is that even though I'm kind of feeling that driven to succeed in doing these things and getting these things kind of, checked off my list and, oh my gosh, I accomplished that. The thing is that now in retirement, I'm having so much fun. I'm looking forward to each day. Yes, I'm kind of, like I said, feeling driven and pushed to do these things, but I'm doing them on my timeline. It's like I can work on, whichever project I'm working on a little bit, and then I can take a break whenever I want. If I feel like working on it in the morning, I can do that. If I don't feel like working on it until the afternoon, I can do that. So, obviously, my time is my own. I can flex things and work on them as I want. There's no pressure from a manager or, a corporate office or anything like that. There's no expectations from anyone else. I can truly just pursue these things that I'm passionate about at my pace as such. And it's just been like, such a good feeling because it's a very different feeling of chasing success than what I felt when I was working. There was a kind of an expectation that I would continue to grow in my career. There was kind of an expectation, of when you work, not kind of, there was an expectation of, when you work and, what you had to do each day and all of those things. And now there's a whole different feel and freedom, you know, to pursuing the goals that I have in mind, just, you know, for myself. And it's even crossed my mind a few times about, am I doing retirement right? And I know that's a silly question because I don't think there is necessarily one. There's certainly no one right way to do retirement. It's going to be different for everyone. Everyone's going to have different interests. You know, I know plenty of people who are retired who very much take a, you know, let each day is a go with the flow. They don't have a long list of specific goals they're trying to accomplish or anything like that. They just get up each day and what do I feel like doing today, and just really go with the flow, and they are so happy and it's amazing. And you know, but I am very curious what your experience is if you're already retired or if you're, you know, getting ready to retire, kind of what you think your experience will be. And like I said here, if you are pursuing certain goals, you know, what are those, or kind of how do you approach your retirement? And I don't know, like I said, I've just been surprised by that feeling of kind of chasing success in certain things in my retirement. And so I would love to hear from others. One thing that keeps popping in my mind is there's a YouTuber, Mike, who's, I think his channel is Old Me Living Better, if I remember correctly. I'll try to remember to link, to attach a link to his channel down in the description. But he has this motto that he goes by, that if you ain't dead, you ain't done. So, you know, it's one of those too. It just really, in my opinion, gives you the freedom to, you know, how you approach your retirement however you want, whatever makes you happy. You know, with myself, like I said, I'm having so much fun pursuing these things that I've had on my list for so long. But if any point any of those things become, you know, where I'm not enjoying them anymore, I'm not having fun, I'm not looking forward to it, then I can stop. There's no pressure. There's no expectations. It's just me pursuing, you know, what is making me happy. And I hope everyone is doing that. But like I said, again, I'd love to hear from you and what your experience has been or what you anticipate that it will be. And like I said, it's just kind of a new feeling for me. So I wanted to share and get everyone's thoughts. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you'd subscribe. But otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm so thankful to all of you for visiting my channel, and look forward to talking with you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.